And here it is, my final review of the Meganex Superlight 8K. I've now spent lots of time with the final production unit, and I'm happy to report that this is even better than my first impressions of last year when I joined the launch in Tokyo. It's the VR headset to choose if you're a PCVR enthusiast that wants the best visuals, the best colors, the best binocular overlap, and the best comfort. But it's still not perfect, so in this review I'm simply going to let you know who is it for and who is it not for. So, absolutely stay tuned, watch the whole video because all of this goodness is coming up. I'm so glad that you're back here at MRTV. My name is Sebastian Ang, and if you are just as excited as I am about PCVR headsets that are as sleek as this one here, then absolutely subscribe to this channel and click on the bell button so that you don't miss anything. And if you prefer to read this review with even more details, then go to mrtv.co, the MRTV website. You're going to find this review and reviews of all the other headsets there to compare. So yeah, simply go to mrtv.co. So let's start to talk about the Meganex Superlight 8K, which is my daily driver. And as you know, that means a lot since I have all the VR headsets. So what is it and what is it not? It's not a standalone headset like the Quests and Picos. No, this is a PCVR headset, a wired PCVR headset, and you need a very beefy PC for it. So this is made for simmers, for Microsoft Flight Simulator, for racers, for people who love VR chat with the best visuals. That's what it's made for. So if you are a PC VR fan that simply wants the best visual quality that you can get right now, probably you should look into the Meganex Superlight 8K. So why do we have this better visual quality here as compared to the Quest 3, for example? Well, this has 4K Micro-OLED panels made by BOE, and they have a resolution of 3552 by 3840 pixels per eye. And these are even 4 million pixels more than the Apple Vision Pro has. And I can tell you, yes, it shows. This is sharper than the Apple Vision Pro. Also, this is a wired DisplayPort headset, so this directly gets its visuals from the GPU, and there's no compression and decompression involved. So you simply get the best visuals possible. Now, as far as tracking is concerned, this is using the Valve Lighthouse system, which we all know is still the most accurate tracking that consumers can get, and it also works in complete darkness. But yes, you do need base stations for it. If you're just doing simming, one base station should be enough, which you can get for $150. But better get two to get the whole 30-60 degrees tracking. Also, you need controllers which are compatible with the Lighthouse system. So I like the Valve Index controllers, but you can also get, for example, the Grip VR controllers that the company is going to launch later this year in summer. If you're concerned about these base stations and controllers and all the costs adding up, you can also get a used original Vive set that you can get probably for $150 or $200 off eBay, and that will work as well. The MZ8K also offers fully motorized IPD adjustment, and that makes sense because this is not just meant as your personal device, but the company also sells this to enterprises where more than one person is going to use it, so it makes sense that you can adjust the interpupillary distance, so the lenses will move into the right distance depending on your eyes. So all of this goodness comes at a price. This is going to set you back $1,900 or 1,900 euros, already including taxes, which is the good news. Anyways, let's do the MRTV thing and really get into detail now. And let's start with something, of course, very important, the visuals. So when I first looked through this, I was directly impressed. And I felt like, wow, this even looks better than the Apple Vision Pro. And I had this impression at the launch event last year. Now, with the production unit, I've looked through all kind of different apps and games, and I can confidently say, yes, this here has the best visuals of any headset that I've personally ever seen. It is so good. And the reason here is that many things are simply coming together. The 4K Micro-OLED panels, of course, with this perfect blacks and vibrant colors. Then the good pancake lenses with that near perfect binocular overlap. And on top of all that, you get this really good comfort. But it's especially that binocular overlap that impressed me so much. You know, I love binocular overlap and it's important for me. Now, the reason is that with a great binocular overlap, everything looks more realistic. Everything looks more 3D-like. And it simply reminds me of the world as it is. Because in real life, you also have the perfect binocular overlap. Both eyes see nearly the same things overlapping, right? And this has it too, and it's simply a huge deal. But let's simply look at every part of the optical stack. And let's start with the displays. So these are the new 4K Micro-OLED panels from BOE. Finally, 4K Micro-OLED has made it to us, the consumers. So we have this super high resolution per eye, and we have those characteristic rich OLED colors with the perfect blacks and very vibrant colors. Even better, there's no Mura. So as opposed to those standard OLED displays, like for example in the PSVR 2, where you see those Mura effects, those inconsistencies in pixel brightness, here you don't have it at all, and it's simply a pixel perfect picture. And these panels can even do 10-bit HDR content if you have the right source material for that. The Shift-All team also points out the color accuracy of those panels. So this headset is not just made for us gamers, but it's also meant for professional users who use this for design purposes, for example. And therefore, this color accuracy is so important. The panels have a maximum refresh rate of 90 Hz, which is totally fine. Of course, 120 Hz would be better, but, well, as TK, the CEO of Shift-All, has also pointed out, which GPU could actually run this kind of resolution at 120 Hz? And I can tell you, 90 Hz looks great on this headset. One aspect about those panels that I will come back to during this review over and over is the super high pixel density, the fill factor. You absolutely cannot see any pixel anymore. It's over. Things simply look photorealistic. And the great thing is, even when you downsample it, even if you don't use the full resolution of this panel, you will still think, wow, this looks so good. This looks better than your current headset at the same resolution, because you do have this super high pixel density where things simply look real. And when you look at the displays, you don't actually feel like you're looking at displays. You feel like you're looking at those virtual things, and you forget that you're looking at a display. That is truly the magic of these 4K Micro-OLED panels. So even if you don't run them at the super high resolution, still these are so good. I personally didn't even think that these 4K Micro-OLED panels would make such a huge difference for me, since I'm on a mobile 4090 laptop, which has the power of a 3090 desktop, but it did because of that super high fill factor, which simply looks different than lower resolution headsets. So yeah, that's absolutely what I want going forward. And as mentioned, I was often downsampling the resolution to 3K by 3K because my laptop simply couldn't run Microsoft Flight Simulator in a better way. And it still looked better than all the other headsets that I have here at the MRTV headquarters. And again, that is because the fill factor. So great news for everyone out there who does not have the 5090 Beast or the 4090 Beast, but probably a 3090 desktop, or like me, a 4090 laptop. And yeah, things will look so good in this headset thanks to this 4K Micro-OLED panels with that extremely high fill factor. Let's talk about the brightness of the MS8K. So that was the weakness when I saw it at launch in Tokyo. I thought this is great, right? But I also thought like, okay, it does look a bit dim. And the team at that time told me, Sebastian, no problem, for the final production unit, we're going to increase the brightness at least 15%. And I'm so happy to tell you, yes, they made it. The brightness is now totally fine. It is brighter than the Big Screen Beyond, for example. It is somewhere between the Pico 4 and the Quest 3. So it does not quite reach Quest 3, but it is better than the Pico 4, and that's totally fine. Also, it is better than those LCD panels when looking at those contrasts. You get this real OLED contrast, and therefore this even looks better than those headsets when having like a very dark scene and then some bright things popping up. Yeah, OLED. OLED for the win. So brightness is not an issue anymore, but this is also not a super bright headset. So if you belong to those people who want to see a super sunshiny, bright day that makes you feel like, oh, you want to wear shades in the headset, right? This is not the right headset for this. And then other headsets like perhaps the Pimax Crystal Super might be more for you. But brightness is not a weak point, it's simply normal and you get these super nice OLED contrasts. So how about motion blur? Is there any motion blur here with the Shift All Meganex Superlight 8K? Well, I don't see any motion blur, and the company has absolutely optimized the brightness without sacrificing that persistence. That motion blur normally is based on if you have like a bad persistence. But that also means that you do not get like the overdrive brightness that, for example, the Big Screen Beyond has to offer, where they don't care about motion blur, where you have motion blur, but you have a much brighter picture. So that is probably something that Shift All could still think about implementing. TK, think about it. Some people don't care about motion blur, but want a brighter picture. So I can tell you, if you were worried about motion blur, you're not going to get it, but you also don't have this kind of overdrive mode. Next, let's talk about the lenses of the Meganex Superlight 8K. Those lenses are manufactured by Panasonic, and as you probably know, Shift All originates from the Panasonic group, and they're still working together with Panasonic to make the Meganex Superlight 8K, and I can tell you, these lenses are excellent. So what is excellent about these lenses? Now, very important, they have a great edge-to-edge clarity. You know, there was one problem of the Big Screen Beyond, right? You couldn't really look left or right, and the picture quality would simply go down. You don't have this with the Meganex Superlight 8K at all. You can look around with your eyes, and it's still going to be very sharp. Also, you don't have as much glare here. So these lenses are very comparable to the lenses of the Quest 3. They are not as good, so the Quest 3 lenses still reign supreme, but we're getting very close here with the Meganex Superlight 8K lenses. So there is still glare, yes, but it's not as bad as the glare of the Big Screen Beyond or the Pico 4. So it's somewhere between Pico 4 and Quest 3. And that is very acceptable. So overall, really nice lenses. So bringing it all together, those great displays from BOE, 4K Micro-OLED, and together with these lenses from Panasonic, I can confidently say this is the best optical stack that is currently available for us consumers here for PCVR. So good. And that's not even all. The headset also offers diopter adjustment. So for all of those short-sighted people from 0 to -7, well, you can simply adjust it per eye here. And the cool thing is, you can adjust it while you're wearing it. So while you see things in VR, you simply use these dials and then you can see, oh, is it getting better? The visuals, or are they getting worse? And then you can simply dial it in. However, if you suffer from other problems, such like astigmatism, then you will still need lens inserts, and there will be lens inserts available really soon, and these will attach magnetically here, and well, you know how much I love magnets, right? So yeah, I'm going to get them for sure as soon as they are available. All right, next let's talk about the FOV, the field of view. And this might be the one weakness of the Meganex Superlight 8K. So if you want a huge FOV, something like the Pimax 8KX, you're not going to get it. So this is what's going to keep the Meganex Superlight 8K from absolutely dominating the PCVR industry. I measured the FOV to be 94 degrees horizontally and 94 degrees vertically. So that is like standard or a bit less than standard. Now the shape of the FOV here is very round and I personally like it. I've seen that before in headsets like the Pico 4, for example, and I prefer this much over those kind of strange shapes, like, for example, seen in the Quest 3, where they sacrifice the binocular overlap to get a bigger FOV. So here, no, you have a very nice round FOV with that really fantastic binocular overlap that makes all the difference for me and probably also for you, but you don't know it yet. But soon you're going to find out how important the binocular overlap actually is. Therefore, while the measured FOV doesn't seem very impressive, but what you actually see in VR feels bigger and better in terms of FOV because you got this perfect binocular overlap, and also because for me personally, I get very close to the lenses and therefore it doesn't feel like a small FOV. For me, the FOV feels normal, and thanks to that perfect binocular overlap, the whole thing feels even more immersive than having a huge FOV but a bad binocular overlap that always reminds me, hey Sebastian, you are wearing a VR headset. You're not looking at something real. So here it feels simply more lifelike. But again, if wide FOVs are your thing, this headset is not for you and you have been warned. Especially if you're not getting close to the lenses because of your head shape, this might truly be a problem. So now let's talk about the binocular overlap. Yes, this is an MRT video indeed. The binocular overlap here is nearly perfect, and that's exactly what I need to feel immersed and comfortable. When both eyes see a largely overlapping picture, it simply reminds me of, well, reality, because our eyes simply see like this as well. If the overlap isn't good, well, our brain has to do some extra work to combine those two visuals, and well, that will give you eye strain, and you will probably feel a headache, and something is wrong. And here, nothing is wrong. Everything feels good, just like in real life. And yeah, it is truly very, very important and a big deal here for the MZ-K and why I love it so much. The overlap here matches that of the Pico 4. So if you love the Pico 4 overlap, you know what to expect, albeit with a little bit smaller FOV. And the overlap is better here than, yeah, Pumice Crystal, Big Screen Beyond, Quest 3 and most of the other headsets. So that is why for me the FOV is totally fine, because again, binocular overlap is more important than FOV, at least for me. A good example is the Vive Pro 2 or the Vive Focus Vision. Both headsets have the same optical stack and they have 120 degrees horizontal FOV. Sounds great, right? And yeah, you do see more, but those headsets have a terrible binocular overlap, and when you wear it, you know, okay, something's wrong here, right? So again, that's why this year is going to be way more immersive than this wide FOV headsets that sacrifice the binocular overlap. So yes,
it's the binocular overlap, stupid.
Want to show the world that you are in the know about the binocular overlap? Want to show the world that you are a VR enthusiast and that you love this channel? Get the It's the Binocular Overlap Stupid t-shirt right now. The link is down in the description of this video. So let's talk about distortions. Now I can tell you that I am very sensitive to distortions. And if a headset has distortions, it can easily yank me out of immersion. So in that central area where you look at, most of the time, I'm glad to tell you there are no distortions. If, and that's important, if your eyes can get into the right distance to the lenses. There have been reports by some users that see lots of barrel distortions. And the reason for this is that they simply cannot get their eyes close enough to the lenses. I've tested this out myself by simply increasing the distance to the lenses, and well, you can do that here easily, right? Because there's eye relief, and then I can see the barrel distortion as well, right? So it's super important to find the right distance here from lens to eye, but once you've found the right distance, you will not have distortions in that central area, which is most important. However, I do see some distortion as well, and that is at the outermost edges of the lenses. I would say the last 5%, there I do see some warping effect. So if you are like very sensitive to warping, as it was also visible in the Vario Aero, then this might be a problem for you. And that is something to keep in mind. For me, again, because I'm so close to the lenses with my eyes, I don't even see that anymore, right? So that is something to keep in mind. If you get close to the lenses, this headset is going to be great. But if you are not able to get close to the lenses, probably because you have a very protruding forehead and this is suspended from the forehead, right? And if you simply can get close enough to the lenses, then you're going to have problems with the FOV and probably you're going to see this warping at the outer edges as well. So how to find out if you could get your eyes very close to the lenses? Now there's something that you can do. Well, I have shared my FOV values with most of the other headsets as well. And I'm going to put them also on mrtv.co, the MRTV website. And if your FOV values are normally very close to my FOV values, then the probability is very high that you can also make the same great experience like me. But if your FOV values are normally much smaller than mine, probably because your eyes are very deep in the sockets, for example, then probably this might not be for you because you cannot get your eyes close enough to the lenses. So go to mrtv.co to check out my FOV values for all the other headsets. So now let's talk about comfort. And that is truly the game changer here. Yes, game changer. It is an overused word, but here it absolutely applies because this is the best comfort that I've ever had in a VR headset, period. So you can tell this headset does tick lots of boxes. So why is that so good? Yeah, because of the very smartly designed strap. So this is a soft strap. Normally, I'm not a big fan of soft straps, and I exchanged them for rigid straps, like for example, in the Quest 3 or even in the Apple Vision Pro. But here, the design of the soft strap is simply ingenious and so well done that you forget that you're wearing it. So it is like a soft strap that implements the halo design. So you have this cushion here, this part, which rests on your forehead and kind of suspends the headset from your forehead. And yeah, you can even flip it up if you want, right? And this is just such a good combination. I already love halo straps for heavier headsets, like for example the PSVR 1 and 2, which I love in terms of comfort. But here you have this kind of halo design with a headset that weighs 179 grams. I'm telling you, you're going to forget this headset that you're even wearing it. And because it's a soft strap, you can also lean back. And that is simply comfortable if you're watching a movie or if you probably want to sleep in VR. I know that there's some VR chatters that love to sleep in VR. And yeah, this is going to be the perfect headset to do that. Let's talk a bit more about this suspension mechanism. It is simply well done. First of all, yes, you can flip it up, right? So if you want to peek into reality because you want to get your drink or whatever, you can easily do that without having to take the whole thing off. And yeah, that is simply a very cool thing to do and that I actually use very often. Then, super important, we have eye relief. So we can simply get this closer to our eyes or further away from them. Obviously, we want to get them closer. We want to get the lenses as close as possible to the eyes. And we can simply do that here. And it's wonderful that they thought about it. So eye relief is a function that I want in all the headsets in 2025 going forward. But that's not all. You can even change the angle here that the headset will face to your eyes. And I'm using this as well to simply optimize the visuals. And for all people who are afraid that this is somehow wobbly or so, for example, if you are on a motion seat or something, no, this is absolutely stable and you don't have to worry about this at all. You will forget that you're wearing it. I'm telling you, it's so good. So the headset is floating in front of your eyes, which I prefer rather than something pressing into my face. And this part here, this gasket, which keeps the light out, it barely touches your face. And if you don't like it, you could even take it off. It's magnetically attached, and yeah, some people might prefer to use the headset like this, and you can. For me, it's fine to use it. Again, it only barely touches my face and keeps the light out, and it does a great job at that. So overall, only 179 gram, fantastic head strap that is so comfortable that you're going to forget that you're wearing it. And this is truly one of the selling points compared to the bigger headsets that this is going to compete with this year, the Pimax Crystal Super, and so on and so forth. So yes, if comfort is your thing, this should be your next headset. So how about inertia? Other headsets do have this problem, like the Pimax Crystal, which is kind of huge, right? And if you move your head fast, well, inertia will be a problem because all that mass, it simply wants to keep moving into the direction that it's moving already. And yeah, you don't have this here at all. It's so light. It's just like the same feeling when wearing a Big Screen Beyond. You don't have inertia problems. It is light, it's close to your face, and you can just look everywhere, move around, and it becomes one with you. Yeah, this is truly the immersion that we want for VR headsets going forward. So yeah, big thumbs up for this as well. So how about the cable management as compared to the pre-production units that I saw? Also much better. We now have this L connector here, and the cable doesn't pop out from the top anymore, but it goes here to the left, which is of course much better. And then we have some Velcro cable ties here in the back that simply lead the cable to the back. And the cool thing is you can put more than one cable tie. These are those standard cable ties, those Velcro cable ties. And because the strap is also made from this kind of Velcro accepting material, you can simply put more than one of those cable ties there and lead the cable to wherever you want. For me, one cable tie in the back is okay, but yeah, why not take more if you have those cable ties? So also for this is a very nice solution and very well thought out from the Shift All team. Yeah, so overall, I'm very impressed by the comfort of the Meganex Superlight 8K, and it might be the selling point for many of you to pick this up. This is simply incredible comfort. Next, let's talk about audio. And well, for audio, you will need your own audio solution because unfortunately, this does not have audio built in. And right now, there also is no audio strap here for the MS8K, but the team is working on an audio strap actually. So if that is what you want in the future, just like the Big Screen Beyond has, this is going to have it as well. But right now, there is no audio. You will need to use the USB-C connection here. So either you're going to use a dongle, a USB-C audio dongle with headphones, or you're going to use a 3.5 millimeter adapter to connect your own headphones. Or as I do it, I'm using a wireless headset here, the Corsair HS80, for example, and the wireless dongle is connected to my actual PC so that I still have that USB-C connection for whatever it's going to use in the future. So yeah, you have to use your own audio. In general, I don't like that so much. I prefer like a solution where everything is included and I just have to wear one headset instead of like looking for the second headset. But here it actually is okay because the strap is so small and you can wear any kind of headphones over this without any problem, right? And I know there are some audiophiles who actually prefer to have their own audio, right? So yeah, with this, you can use your own headphones without any problem. But again, the company is working on an audio head strap, which probably is going to use a rigid strap then. And yeah, I must say I love that soft strap. Yeah, so I will probably simply stick to my own headphone solution here. On a brighter note though, the microphones that are built here into the MS8K are really good. They are made by Technics, which is also a Panasonic group company, and yeah, Technics, they can do very nice audio accessories. So the people that you play with in virtual reality, they will be able to hear you loud and clear. This is a microphone check with the Meganex Superlight 8K on software version 1.3.0.1. Peter Parker plays piano. Peter Parker plays piano. Let's talk about controllers and tracking. The Meganex Superlight 8K is a lighthouse tracked headset, so you need base stations to track this. And like I told you in the beginning, yeah, you can get them on a second-hand market or get one for $150, and then you're going to have perfect tracking. And the same again here, typical lighthouse tracking, perfect tracking, even in the dark. This is going to track really well, so no issues here. But I must also tell you that I did have occasional problems. And then I would see gray in the headset, just gray, and the headset would lose its tracking. But not because the hardware is bad, it's because of some software issue with the IMUs. They would go into sleep mode. That is what the company told me, and they are aware of this issue, and they are working on it. Yeah, so this just happened sometimes. And then for 2 seconds, I didn't have tracking, and then it came back. So just to tell you everything that I experience here right now, that's why I'm telling you this, even though the company has already found the issue and they're going to solve it. But yeah, just want to let you know. In general, fantastic tracking. And for controllers, again, probably you're going to use the Valve Index controllers. These are really good. Probably you have them if you had the Valve Index before, or you have to buy them. Or you go for the Grip VR controllers, the company's own controllers that are going to come out somewhere in summer, but I don't think that you want to wait so long. So get yourself some Valve Index controllers. They are really good. If you are a simmer, you don't even need those. You don't need controllers at all, right? So no need to buy them. If you want to get 2 new base stations and the Valve Index controllers, all of this is going to set you back $600 together. So yeah, quite an investment, but you can get them on the second-hand market, or you can even get like an old original Vive setup for like $200. They will give you controllers and base stations. Yeah, but then you have those old kind of controllers. They also work, but yeah, Valve Index controllers, still, in my opinion, fantastic controllers to go for. Next, let's talk about software. In order to use the MS8K, you're going to download the Meganex configurator software. This is required, and unlike the Index or the Big Screen Beyond, which are pure SteamVR headsets, the MS8K uses its own compositor to assemble the rendered frames before sending them to the headset. And this grants Shift All more control, but it also means they need to develop their own motion smoothing algorithm. So SteamVR's motion smoothing algorithm is not going to work here, and right now there is no motion smoothing, but the company is also working on it, so you will get motion smoothing here with the MS8K as well in the future. Overall, the software is doing its job. It's unobtrusive and simply gets the job done. There's brightness controls, there's adjustments for saturation, for example. If you want to make the visuals look more OLED-y, that's what I did. For example, I made it even darker, but put the saturation up to have this kind of like, Samsung Galaxy phone screen kind of feeling here, which is so OLED-y. I love OLED. So you can simply set it up as you want it to look. And you can also choose different color spaces. So this is not just for Beat Saber, but also for people who really want to work in this, working on some design jobs. Yeah, the MS8K will be a great solution for you. And the configurator is also the place where you're going to set your IPD. Simply enter it into the software and the lenses will move accordingly. So upon saving, the software will even ask for your name, so next time you can select your profile and have the lenses instantly aligned to your eyes. Very handy if you share the device at home or at work. Overall, the software simply is going to do what it needs to do and it won't get in your way. It is still not perfect. There are some bugs. For example, for the brightness, if I set it to 100%, then one of the displays will be a bit dimmer than the other, so I have to set it to 98%. But yeah, the company will for sure fix that in the future, and overall, It is simply software that works. So how about the rendered resolution and the performance of the headset? Well, at 100% SteamVR super sampling, the headset renders at 4084 by 4084 pixels, which is surprisingly low considering the panel's actual resolution. But it works, and even at these settings, the visuals are razor sharp and photorealistic. But if you have a super beefy PC, of course, you're going to set it to 150%, for example, and then you have a much higher resolution and things will even look better. There's no question about it. But then again, the fill factor is the crucial thing here. And even if you reduce the resolution even more, it would still outperform headsets that lack this pixel density. So this chosen render resolution also helps with performance. I personally had zero trouble running this on my mobile 4090 laptop, roughly equivalent to a 3090 desktop. So no, you do not need a 5090 beast PC. Of course, you want to have one, but yeah, thanks to that high fill factor, the headset even looks great with current GPUs, and it will only look better with future generations. So thanks to this 4K resolution, the Meganex Superlight 8K is very future-proof, right? So once we have 6090, it's even going to look better than it looks now. Very nice. So how about game compatibility? Yes, this is a SteamVR headset, so you will be able to play all of your SteamVR favorites. Half-Life Alyx in its full glory. Skyrim, modded with all these incredible mods, are going to look fantastic in this headset. And of course, Microsoft Flight Simulator, iRacing, you know which games you want to play. This is going to play them with the most beautiful visuals you've ever seen in VR. But not everything is great, and this headset does have some limitations which will probably make you not want to buy it. So we have to talk about these as well, and I did make a whole video about it. So first of all, this only works with NVIDIA GPUs. If you have an AMD GPU, bad luck, you cannot use it. The reason is that the company simply doesn't have enough resources to also optimize this for AMD, so they made the decision, let's optimize it for NVIDIA, which makes perfect sense. So perhaps down the line, if many of you buy this, they will have the resources to hire an additional engineer who's going to make this compatible with AMD, but right now, no. Then second, this does not have eye tracking. So if you are a DCS player and you want to get the very, very best performance that is possible right now, yeah, probably go for a headset that has eye tracking. So that's important to know. Also, probably if you are a VR chatter and you want a headset with eye tracking, this is not going to give you eye tracking. I personally don't know if the company would add an eye tracking module later down the line. Probably that would make sense. I don't have that confirmation yet, so I cannot tell you about it, but it is for sure in the realm of possibility. But right now, this does not have eye tracking. Then third, ShiftAlt's return policy is kind of restrictive. So you buy this, and when you buy this, you're going to get it for sure. There's no sending it back if you don't like it. So that is really important to understand. So of course, ShiftAlt does offer a warranty, and if something is wrong, they're going to take it back and repair it. But again, if you simply don't like it and want to send it back, no, you can't do it. You have to sell it yourself. So let's come to the conclusion. And I believe you already have an idea here what I'm going to say. So yes, if you are a PCVR enthusiast and you simply want to have the best visuals right now because of that 4K Micro-OLED panel and these really good lenses and that near perfect binocular overlap, then this is for you. Your favorite games will look better. Be it Microsoft Flight Simulator, be it Half-Life Alyx, be it some racing game where you need to see your opponents further away. Yes, this can do it because of that super high pixel density, because of that super high resolution. And the game changer is simply the comfort. You can wear this for hours and hours at a time. In my first session, I played from 11 p.m. till 6 in the morning always wearing it and I didn't have any problems. And I know many of you do want to wear headsets for this long time. You don't feel anything in your face. This is simply floating in front of your eyes and it couldn't be more comfortable than this. This is so good. So this is exactly what I've been waiting for, a PCVR headset that can deliver the visuals of an Apple Vision Pro, but even better and with DisplayPort cable. So yes, and of course OLED. OLED for the win, perfect blacks, vibrant colors. Yeah, you want this. And even the price is not crazy. Yes, $1,900, it's a lot of money. But if you knew how expensive those 4K Micro-OLED panels are, you would understand that the company is not making a lot of money, especially right now, since the prices are still at their all-time high, because they are simply not so efficient to make. Once they get cheaper, then the company will finally make better amounts of money with this. But right now, they couldn't even sell it at a much cheaper price if they would not want to give it away for free for you, which would be great. But yeah, then we wouldn't have this company in the future anymore. So yes, $1,900 or euros is not cheap, but you're getting what you're paying for. Perfect panels, great lenses, and super nice binocular overlap and game-changing comfort. So this headset ticks so many boxes, but not everything is perfect, right? So if you want to have like a super bright headset, this is not it. If you want a headset with a super wide FOV, this is also not it. So probably you should wait for the Pimax Crystal Super, which will give you a wider FOV and which will give you higher brightness. And of course, I am going to check out the Pimax Crystal Super as soon as it's available here on the channel. So overall, I'm simply thrilled that the Meganex Superlight 8K is here, and it's another great option for us PCVR enthusiasts. It's my new daily driver, and I haven't been as excited about a PCVR headset since the Reverb G2 actually. So if you're still rocking a Reverb G2, probably because of my videos all these years in the past, yeah, now I'm giving you my thumbs up to replace it with the Meganex Superlight 8K. It's an incredible headset that you're probably going to love. And that's it for my full review of the Meganex Superlight 8K. Yeah, it was quite long again, right? But hopefully worth it for you. And as always, if my videos help you to make a more educated purchasing decisions and your purchasing decision is based on this video or other videos, I would appreciate it if you buy this headset or other headsets through the MRTV affiliate links. You always find them down in the description of this video and in the first pinned comment. It doesn't cost you 1 cent or penny more, but you're supporting videos just like this one here, and I would of course be very grateful for this. If you have any more questions about the Meganex Superlight 8K, please do post them in the comments. I'm going to answer them, or simply go to the MRTV Discord server where I am every day, and well, the community as well. So there also we're going to answer all of your questions. And also, if you have not yet subscribed to MRTV, absolutely do that now for XR reviews that you can trust. That's everything that I have. Give it a thumbs up, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next video.